All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal a secret toolkit that's already built right into your Windows PC. We're talking about powerful tools that'll let you stop being frustrated by your computer and finally start being the one in charge. So let's dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? I mean, we've all been there. You plug in a new device and crickets. Nothing. Or you install a brand new hard drive, you're all excited, and it's just a total ghost. It's that super frustrating feeling that your machine is actively fighting you instead of, working for you.
Well, what if I told you there's a secret? Windows actually comes with this professional-grade toolkit that most people never ever see. And no, we're not talking about some flashy apps from the App Store. These are powerful, no-nonsense management consoles that give you direct access to the very core of your system. And today, yeah, we're handing you the keys to the kingdom.
Okay, first up on our quest, let's tackle that misbehaving hardware. You know what I'm talking about, the webcam that flickers, the network adapter that just loves to drop out at the worst possible moment? We're gonna get them in line. And this right here, this is your first clue. See that little yellow triangle with the exclamation mark? That's your signal. That's Windows basically screaming, "Hey, Houston, we have a problem with this specific device." This is where our investigation begins. So where do you find this little warning sign? It's inside a place called the Device Manager. Now, you can get there by running devmanagement.msc, and that little .msc at the end, that's just a fancy way of saying it's a special system console file. Honestly, just think of Device Manager as the command center for every single piece of hardware plugged into your computer, from the processor all the way down to that tiny USB dongle. So let's say a device is going haywire and making your whole system unstable. You can immediately stop it in its tracks. All you do is find it in the list, right-click on it, and hit Disable Device. Boom. That tells Windows to just ignore it for a little while. This can be a lifesaver, instantly stabilizing your PCs so you can figure out what's actually wrong without it crashing every 5 minutes. But look, disabling it is really just a temporary patch, right? The real magic is that from that same right-click menu, you have all your main troubleshooting tools right there. You can tell Windows, hey, go hunt for a new driver, or you can completely uninstall the device, forcing a totally clean reinstallation the next time you reboot. You can even scan for hardware changes. It's all right there. It really is your one-stop shop for fixing hardware problems. All right, so we've got our hardware tamed. Now let's move on to mastering your digital space, the place where all your precious data actually lives. Yep, we're talking about hard drives. Okay, this is a classic moment of pure panic. You spent your hard-earned money, you've carefully opened up your PC, installed the new drive, you boot everything back up, you open File Explorer, and it's gone. It's not there. The immediate thought is, oh no, did I get a lemon? Did I break something? Nope. Relax. You probably didn't break anything. The drive just needs a proper introduction to the operating system. And you do that with another one of these secret tools. This one's called Disk Management, or diskmgmt.msc. And look, the very first thing it does when it sees a new drive is ask you to initialize it. That's basically just a fancy word for saying, hey, how do you want to set this thing up? And right away, you're faced with a choice that looks kind of scary, MBR or GPT. But don't worry, it's actually really simple. MBR is the old school way, from back when hard drives were way smaller. GPT is the new modern standard. It's more reliable, it's better at handling errors, and, this is the big one, it's absolutely required for any drive bigger than 2 terabytes. So bottom line, if you just bought a new drive for a modern computer, just choose GPT. It's almost always the right answer. Okay, so once you've initialized it, you have to partition the drive. The best way to think about this is to imagine the drive is a big empty warehouse. A primary partition, that's like building the main office. It's so important you can actually run a whole operating system from it. Then, logical partitions are like building all the smaller rooms inside the rest of the warehouse. Perfect for just organizing your stuff. Documents in this room, games in that one, photos over there. So the whole process, step by step, is this. First, you initialize the disk, pick GPT. Then you right-click that big black bar that says unallocated and choose to create a new simple volume. Next, you give it a drive letter, like D drive, E drive, whatever you want, and finally you format it. As soon as that format is done, poof, your new drive will pop right up in File Explorer, ready for all your files. All right, check you out. You've mastered your hardware, you've mastered your storage. The next level up is mastering who actually gets to use your computer and, more importantly, what they're allowed to do on it.
I mean, this is a super common problem, right? You've got a family member, a roommate, maybe even a coworker who needs to use your PC for a bit. But you really don't want them accidentally messing up your system settings, or, let's be honest, snooping through your personal files. You need to give them their own little walled garden, their own space with their own rules. Now, sure, you can use the simple Add a New User button in the main Windows settings, and that's fine. But if you want real control, you need to use a tool called Local Users and Groups. This is the place where you can create new accounts from the ground up, and this is the key, define exactly what level of power they have on your system. And you control that power by putting them into a specific group. It's really that simple. Administrators, they have the keys to the entire kingdom. Users, that's for standard everyday stuff. They can browse the web, use apps, but they can't install new software or change important system settings. Guests have super limited temporary access. Your only job is to decide which box they fit in and put them in the right group.
And doing it is incredibly straightforward. You just open up the tool, right-click on the Users folder, and choose New User. Fill out their details. Then, once they're created, you just right-click on their name, go to Properties, click the Member of tab, and add them to the Users group. Seriously, that's it. You've just created a perfectly safe, standard account for them. Okay, so we've covered the big three: devices, disks, and users. But trust me, the rabbit hole goes way deeper. So let's do a quick lightning round of a few other awesome power tools you should know about.
Ever get that low disk space warning? Hey, before you run out and buy a new drive, try running Disk Cleanup. It's this fantastic little tool that just scours your drive for all the digital junk that builds up, old update files, temporary internet files, all that gunk, and it clears it all out. You'd be amazed, it can often free up gigabytes of space.
How about automating things? Task Scheduler is basically your own personal robot butler. You can tell it to do anything you want on a schedule. Run a backup script every single Friday at midnight? Done. Launch your favorite music app the second you log in every morning? Easy. It is the definition of powerful set-it-and-forget-it automation.
And finally, the big one, the very heart of Windows itself, the registry editor. This thing is the master database for literally every single setting on your computer. It is incredibly powerful, which of course also makes it incredibly dangerous. A wrong move in here can seriously break your system. So by all means, explore it with curiosity, but please always, always do it with extreme caution. So there you have it. That's the secret. These tools, they aren't just for the IT pros. They're built right in for you. The power to diagnose problems, organize your files, and secure your own PC, it's been in your hands this entire time, just waiting for you to find it. You now have the keys to the real control panel. You know where the power is. So the only question left is, what are you going to fix, organize, or build on your machine first?